Hello, my name is Mackie, and welcome back to Tier List Week. Now, I was about to do the scheduling and about to do the LCS first, and then we get to the LEC, and then LPL will be the last one, and then the LCK will be around this week. But unfortunately, we have to make a little change of plans because just dropped by our good friends of Sheep Esports. The LPL format is already announced. And by the way, we will kick off on January 14th. I'm recording this on 3:11 p.m. on the 3rd of January. And I have some really sad news. FPX, we already know they're not even out. They're out of LPL, of course, but also RNG. So this is going to be a 14-team format, hence the 14 teams that I have for this tier list. First of all, this is really, really sad. Like, we all know FPX was wanted out like a long time ago. So to see FPX being out of it is just not a surprise to me. But RNG, man, financial payments. I've already mentioned about the RNG situation with the financial payments, and I've mentioned that if you want, you can just click. I'll put a link in the description on the RNG situation in my flock of news, which will be returning probably next week, of course, if I'm healthy and, of course, have nothing else to do in my life. But let's be honest, to see FPX and RNG not even in the league for next year, it's absolutely appalling to me. And it shows the current state of League of Legends in China right now just being like it's it's not existent anymore. Like, I watch Honor of Kings finals from the Bird's Nest, and the amount of people being interested in a mobile game, it speaks to the volume of how much more people are invested in a mobile game than rather than the League of Legends space. And it shows why the contraction of teams. We lost Rare Atom. Of course, we lose an FPX. We lost RNG. It's like more and more teams are getting cut off year on top of year to the point of like, I don't know, man. We're going to lose a lot of talent and we're going to lose a lot of great teams, legendary teams, of course. And because of the age restrictions of China in these cases, it makes it feel like I'm not sure if China can ever hold a candle to the LCK at this point. I mean, just look at them. Which team do you really think you can root for? I mean, IG, sure. EDG, BLG, JDG. Yeah, sure, fine. But in terms of that, like, who wants to support Thunder Talk and Ultra Prime and Team WE? And that's the point. It's like we're losing two of the most legendary teams, and most importantly, to the most legendary team in all of org in RNG. And it feels like the LPL is contracting right now to the absolute extent, and it's not looking great, man. It's not looking great because if China is contracting, what did it say about the rest of League of Legends as a whole? What does it say? Anyways, that's not my problem. That's for financial people to talk about. We're gonna go do this format, and then we're gonna do the tier list, the same tier list as we did in the LEC from yesterday. This is so, as usual, the split one starts on January 14th to conclude around early March. And the two teams, will be going to San Paulo for first stand, the same thing with LCK. Now, to increase the value of the split, which was somewhat criticized last year, the 2026 edition will award more championship points than before. 80 points for the winner compared to just 20 for top esports. So they're just raising the bar of this split. They're just saying this first split matters, despite like you can say that MSI and Worlds are like the top tier. But with the first stand format being changed a little bit to include the LPL and an LCK team, it makes this split even more important to it is now. So by adding the increase in points, it just makes this split even more important. Now, there are going to be some several players that are not going to be taking place. Mako will not be one of them, and Jackie Love will also be not. They will be taking breaks. So there'll be a lot of refreshing and changes being happening. Of course, I will be talking about it in my tier list, of course. Stop repeating yourself, Hakeem. They already know. Anyways, the format. The LPL format will be the same as last year. 14 teams being split into 3 groups. 6 from the Ascend group, 4 from the Perseverance group, 4 into the Nevada group. And for the Ascend group, we got Anyone's Legends, Billy Gaming, Invictus Gaming, JDG, Top Esports, and Weibo Gaming. For Group Perseverance, Edward Gaming, Ninjas Pajamas, Team WE, and Thunder Talk. And Group Nevada, LGD, LNG, and OMG, and Ultra Prime. It will be a double round robin best of 3. So one team will play against them 6 times. Will play 6 games. The other will do the same. And for this group, I think they're playing 2, 4, 6, 10 times. So Group Ascend will play 10 games. The Resident will play 6. And let's be honest, most people will be following Group Ascend. Because look at the names. Anyone's a Legend, top 3 in the MSI, quarterfinals at Worlds. Maybe should have won Worlds, of course. BLG, getting a new jungler, are still one of the top teams ever. IG just recently won the Masia Cup over JDG, which of course have Tabe, and I think this JDG team is going to be way more incredible than last year. Top Esports is still Top Esports, and Weibo can, make something crazy, of course. They've gone through a couple of Worlds, and they performed well. So I think Ascend Group is going to be like the most watched among all the groups, of course. But that's my opinion. You can just choose your own adventure, of course. Now, the top 4 teams from the Ascend Group will directly qualify for the playoffs bracket stage. The bottom 2 teams from the Ascend group, all 4 teams from the Perseverance group, and the top 2 teams from the Nevada group will advance to the Knights Road, while the bottom 2 teams from the Nevada group will be eliminated from Split 1. The playing phase will therefore be split into multiple rounds. It will begin with the 5th team from the Ascend group facing the 2nd team from the Perseverance group, and the 16th team from Ascend group playing against the 1st team from Perseverance. The winners advance to the bracket stage, while the losers move on to round 3. In round 2, the 3rd team from the Perseverance group will face the 2nd team from the Nevada group, and the 4th team from the Perseverance will play against the 1st team from Nevada. The winners advance to round 3, while the losers are eliminated. Finally, the 4 remaining teams will face each other based on their regular season ranking, with the highest seed playing the lowest seed. And oh, by the way, all of this will be fearless. All of this. Hard fearless. Pick one throughout the series. You can't see the champion throughout the rest of the series. All of them are fearless, as I think we've already established. The bracket stage will be the same as last year, a double elimination bracket with all matches played as best of 5 between the top 8 LPL teams. The winner and the runners-up will represent the LPL in the first stand and will be awarded 80 and 50 championship points respectively, compared to just 20 and 15 last year. And here are some roster changes. BLG changed their jungler for the 15th time, of course, but let's see stability. That's the thing that hurts them. It's the instability of the jungle last year. And of course, the whole team did not perform great, especially Bin and Al and On. The whole team did not perform well. Knight was the only one that actually give a damn, of course. Jun will be the jungler for this team. Yes, the jungler that they replaced a couple of years ago is now coming back and now representing BLG. And Viper will be joining in the role. That will make BLG a really strong team, trying to return to the domination form that they have. Top Esports are keeping their solo leaders and added Naoyu, Jing in the AD carry, until Jackie Love returned from break, of course. Fang Win as a starting support. The IG squad, of course, just won the Masia Cup with multiple rosters, and JDG trying to attempt with Tabe being the coach. And I think that's fine. So that is going to where we're going to start. We're going to start with the Demacia Cup champions of IG. In case many people do not know what the tier list is, let me just give you a rundown from my last video from yesterday. We got the 50 Feet of Crap, which is a team that is never going to do well in LPL and all kinds of jazz. We got the Least Crap, which means a team that is not as bad, but may not be good enough to be upper echelon. We got the Mid, easily the Mid, the team that is not so great, but not so bad either. We got the Good, but not good enough to win LPL, which is the team that I can say, that could be great, but just not there as a top dog. And finally, my LPL Kings, my team that I feel like they can win the LPL. And I think this is going to be either for one split or for all 3 splits, but this is more like a yearly thing, of course. Which team will be my LPL King going into Worlds next year? So we're going to start with IG, and we're going to look at the lineup for IG. And we got Tommorrow, Wei, Rookie, Photic, and I think Mako's taking a break, of course. So that means Jue is going to be the support with Kakao as the coach. It's a really mixed lineup, but we know what Rookie is capable of. We don't know what Jue is capable of. I think Wei is a fine player, of course. I think Saboro is going to be the wild card in there because, of course, you're placing a legendary top laner who can end sometimes, That's going to be the thing. We're probably going to see what Saboro can be all about. Now, remember, of course, is that the game and the patch has been changing. Of course, there's quests being taken place, so we just don't know what they'll be like. But I'm going to go based on feel and gut here. And I'm saying that the Victor's Gaming are pretty good enough to win LPL, but we're just gonna just see if they're good enough to win there. So it's just, yeah, we're gonna be in a wait and see category. The couple of ones to be easy. LGD crap, OMG crap, Team WWE crap, Ultra Prime crap, Thundertalk crap. I think Ninja's Pajamas are the least crap, which is good. Edward Gaming mid. And let's look at LNG, Bulldog missing, 1G Croco. This team doesn't excite me, of course. They're mid to me. They're mid. And that Weibo. Weibo's mid. Weibo's mid. And that leaves us with probably the four teams that I think everybody knows and love. We got Anyone's Legend, BLG, JDG, and Top Esports. I believe, based on the lineup, that JDG are going to be the top dogs in the LPL. And I think it's because of one person and one person only. It's Tabe. It's him. This guy, Tabe, has turned around RNG, has turned around BLG, had made NA1's Legend one of the most dominant teams in all of League of Legends last year. And let's be honest, I think they could have won Worlds, had it wasn't for the craziness as Game 5 of it. But regardless, I said Tabe was one of the best coaches in all of LPL by a mile, and he's got the team working well. He's got them prepared well in drafts, especially in Fearless, of course. With this lineup and with his veteran presence, I think this is going to be JDG brilliantly returning back to their 2023 form, of course, when they won MSI and then made semifinals of Worlds and all kind of stuff. They got Viper, Gala, Hongkyu, Junjia, and Zhao. Yes, Hongkyu, by the way, from the CFO team. They got Junjia and Hongkyu from CFO, who were incredible last year on CFO and the LCP and at Worlds, of course, making quarters. Now, we all know that teams from the LCP does not do well in LPL, but I want to see how Hongkyu can do. Going from a team that everybody expected them to win in that region to go to a more competitive region and a more skilled region in the LPL. So we're going to see if Hongkyu can actually show up. But I look at this JDG team and I just feel like, damn, this team could win this whole thing. This team could do well in LPL, maybe make a run in like First Stand and MSIs, of course. But with Tabe, I feel like they can do so much more. So much more. I mentioned about BLG and their jungling situation. They finally end the whole crappy jungle situation, the whole Bejuang and the whole, all this kind of stuff. And of course, the team needs a refreshing, and they did. Danny's down the new coach. On and Bin are still on, but they replaced Bejuan with Shun, and then replaced Elk with Viper. And I think this is a major upgrade to feel like, oh yes, BLG are looking good. They're looking back. Are they back enough to win the LPL? I'm just not sure. But I had that feeling of like, Viper is going to do so many things. We know Viper is a great ADC. We know that. We know Jun is a good jungler, and this is not his first rodeo. So him being back in BLG brings stability. That's the thing that hurts BLG last year. Stability. Will he stabilize this team? Will he make this team better? Will he make Ben return to greatness, like 2023 greatness? That's going to be the question. We know Odd is a great support. We know Knight is a massive mid laner. He was the reason why BLG are even decent last year. Decent. So we all know that they can be good. But the question is, are they going to be good than JDG? I think I will put BLG right behind JDG as my LPL Kings. I will put them right behind. I think they'll be good enough to. I think these are gonna be like 1 and 2 in the battle. Maybe if there's a team from IG can win it, and someone in the mid can step up and improve. But for right now, I think that's gonna be my 1 and 2 team. For anyone's legend, oh boy. Well, Helper is gonna be the new coach on the team. The rest of the lineup remains the same, which is the good news. But the bad news about it is that I just do not have a good feeling that anyone's legend will be the same team that it was last year. The reason why this team was great was Tabe. The team is the same, great, but right now I look at that BLG improving, JDG improving, Invictus Gaming improving, and it makes you have that feeling of like, yeah, anyone's legend are going to struggle this year. Now, are they good enough to win LPL? Of course they can win LPL. They still have the core that can do it. But trying to reach the highs of last season, like top 3 in MSI, quarterfinals at Worlds, it's a rough ask, especially in the changing climate that is League of Legends esports every single year. And I think it's going to be a really tough ask. I will put them as good, but not good enough to win the LPL. I think they'll be decent, but I just don't know how a good feeling about them. I just don't. And that leaves us with top esports, of course. That leaves us with top esports. And 369 is still there. Nayu is going to be in for Kanavi. Cream is coming in. Jackie Love is taking a pick. Now Jakku is going to come in. And then Hong will be the jungler with Poppy as coach. It's a little bit of a mix to me. It feels like, this team is great, but I just don't have a good feeling. I just don't have, like, a feeling about this team. Like, Kanavi and Jackie Love gone for Kwaegu and Nayu. Two unknown quantities on this team. Although you could say that these are known quantities if you watch a lot of LPL, like some people, like Namira, of course. But it's an unknown quantity for me because I just wanted to see if this team is good enough to challenge your JDGs and your BLGs and your anyone's legends, of course. That's gonna be the question for me. And I am not sure if that team can ever done it. I'm gonna see 369 being back to be at a 9. Sorry, phone call from my mom. Where was I? Oh yeah, 369 need to be back to be a 9 again. That's what we want. Cream he has been there this team and for LPL for years. It is time for him to show up. It is time for him to get off his diapers, get off the training wheels, and just pop the hell off. We have been waiting for the Cream domination for years. It's time for him to, pun intended, be the creme de la creme, of course. The cream that rises to the top, of course. We need to see more from him. I think we're going to have a pretty mixed season for top esports. Now, are they good enough to win LPL? I just don't think so. But let's be honest, I feel like they're going to be good enough. So I did this as a quick tier list with, of course, the little format talks. You got the 50 feet of crap with the LGD, OMG, DWE, Ultra Prime, and the Underdog, which is not a disrespectful for all the teams. I just don't feel like those teams are good enough to like challenge the rest of them. So this is not a disrespect. It's just like it is what it is. NIP are decent. NIP are good, but just not good enough to challenge the mid teams, which is EDG, LNG, and Weibo. Let me just see the. Let's just like reshuffle just a little bit. Oh, okay, Weibo. Ooh, Weibo. We got Zeka, JJ, Xiaohu, Elk, Arya, and Kim. Okay, Weibo. I think Weibo is looking decent. I think Weibo looking decent. I think I have to take them out of the mid territory. I think I look at Weibo's lineup and I feel like okay, they can win LPL with that lineup. Still have the core lineup, of course. Still have Xiaohu in there, JJ representing Tian, who was okay but not great. JJ, we all know veteran jungler. He's world champion in jungle. He can be good. Zika is also being top dog. Elk, he needs to show up pretty well. New environment, new team. Hopefully, he can do well. Era's a new quantity, but with that veteran presence of Elk, I think they could team me fine. And Kim, of course, I think he coached Gen G. If I were me, I think he coached Gen G. I think he did. So I think his veteran presence will be great. I think Weibo could be good. I think Weibo could be my good team list. Okay, Weibo, I see you. Ultra Prime, no. Thunder Talk, no. TNW, Cube, and Monkey. No. OMG, no. LNG. Well, we got Bulldog and Missing and Wanjian. Fine, but not great enough. Ninja's Pajamas gone from Solokin and Nahu and Doinby and Leave and Nika. They changed the entire lineup to basically like a not so great team. Like Doinby's the reason why this team was okay, and Solo Kill and Nayud and Leave was okay, but yeah, they're in the crap territory. They're in the crap territory. Yeah, they're in the crap territory. LNG, Sheer, Croco, Bulldog, One Edge, and Mason. I think they're decent. They're not good enough to win, but I think the mid is okay. I think LGD, that's nope. Clearly crap. Edward Gaming, Angel and Leaf. Okay, Angel and Leaf. Jahal is okay. They still have the core team. They place in like one bad ADC to a decent jungler. I think it could go. I think it could go for EDG, but I'll still put them in mid. So yeah, I think that's the tier list. I think that's a tier list for right now. LGD, OMG, TWE, Ultra Prime, Thunder Talk, and Ninja's Pajamas are in the crap. No team in the least crap, which is like Jarring, of course. EDG and LGD on the mid. IG, Anyone's Legend, Top Esports, and Weibo are the good but not winning LPL. And then you got JDG and BLG are the kings. So anyways, that concludes the LPL with a little bit of format sprinkled into it. Thank you all for watching. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the return of my beloved friend, the LCS. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.